Recognize the member for Fredericton South and Leader of his party.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for the ruling. It provides some clarity in the rationale, actually, for the need to have the Bill 38 remove. I'm going to switch masks here, Mr. Speaker, if I can engage your patience for a minute, just because I'll be less muffled with this one. So it just adds, I think, to the importance of sending this bill to committee because it deals with actually a number of bills, Mr. Speaker, including an act respecting the Animal Protection Act, the Sheep Protection Act, and the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, which are not housekeeping matters in these cases, Mr. Speaker, but substantive. And I'm a little surprised, actually, that the decision was taken to create this little tiny omnibus bill to group these together when they weren't proper reflection and inquiry by at committee to understand the intent and the consequences. And I'll give you one quick example to illustrate my point. And that is with respect to the changes to the Sheep Act. It anticipates that enforcement would occur by the SPCA, but it is widely recognized now that the SPCA is seriously underfunded in terms of being able to carry out its enforcement functions. And I'll remind the House that actually the SPCA is carrying out enforcement functions on behalf of government in order to enforce a piece of legislation or statute that was passed by this legislative assembly, and in an unusual arrangement compared to most other acts that are regulatory in nature. The enforcement duties for this legislation governing the SPCA does not rest with Public Safety's enforcement branch, but actually with a charitable organization, the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. So they haven't had the resources. They're certainly not resourced in the same way proportionally that public safety enforcement is. And so it raises serious questions about the ability to actually enforce the laws pertaining to dogs at large in rural New Brunswick regarding the potential impact on livestock, in this case sheep. So this is just one example, Mr. Speaker, which is why I speak profoundly in support of the motion to send this to the committee, Law Amendments Committee, so that we can have a proper understanding of this and hear from the appropriate interests and actors. For example, I would like to talk to the, ask the SPCA at committee what are the implications for its budget and its ability to enforce the legislation. Does it have the capacity? These are important questions, and they're only going to be able to be asked at Law Amendments Committee. I could give other examples, but I think that's an illustrative one is sufficient. So I support this amendment, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.